baseball hitting planner. I'm Amber Wilson, and joining me is senior fantasy baseball writer Eric Mack. And Eric, interleague play still continuing on through the weekend. So, of course, if these guys have a DH and an NL Park, you guys are going to want to sit him this week, which is why I noticed you have Hideki Matsui on your sit list.
Yeah, it's my sit list. Hideki Matsui's been struggling with a knee issue, and at Pittsburgh and at the New York Mets for that 4-game weekend series, they're not going to have the DH in play, so I don't think he's going to give enough at-bats to make him useful in any fantasy league next week.
All right, taking a look at your start and outfield, and this is why they pay EMAC the big bucks to tell you guys to start J.D. Drew, because I know none of you guys would have otherwise. This guy is just absolutely on a tear in the month of June, equaling almost his entire homer total for all of 2007 in just this month alone. Of course, picking up the slack of Big Papi and Manny Ramirez. This guy is a must-start in all leagues right now. Taking a look at shortstop, you have Yuniesky Betancourt as your sit this week.
Yeah, Yuniesky Betancourt, he's probably the most over-owned shortstop in all of fantasy leagues. The glove-first shortstop is not a guy I would trust in mixed league. I don't know why many people do.
All right, at short, Mikey Velez is your start this week. The rookie has been instant offense for the Royals so far, and he's capable of making an extended splash at the thin shortstop position. So this guy can really hit. Go ahead and start him this week. Third base, Scott Rowland is your sit this week. After a decent April and May start, Rowland is right around the Mendoza line in June. Not so great for him. Alex Gordon, though, on the other hand, doing quite great.
Yeah, he hasn't been the instant success we expected he could be, but he's hot right now, and he looks like he's a guy you can go with in any league right now.
All right, at second base, Maicer Torres is your sit this week. He was hot, but the return of Eric Ibar stands to cut into his playing time now, so get him out of your lineups. Dustin Pedroia is your start.
Yeah, the reigning AL Rookie of the Year had slow start last year and a slow start this year, but he's perking up in June, and I think he's the guy you want to go with.
At first base, Richie Sexton is your sit this week.
Yeah, Richie Sexton, he's been terrible, and there are reports now that the Mariners are going to just outright release him. And if they're releasing him, you don't want him on your fantasy roster. Only deeper AL-only leagues if you're really desperate.
All right, at first, your start this week is Marcus Thames, who is a streaky slugger, but he's on the right side of the streak right now. He's on a monster roll, and he's eligible at first and outfield, so go ahead and get him into your lineups. The catcher, Jeff Clement, is your sit.
Yeah, Clement has been called up, and the manager that just got fired, in fact, said he was going to get more playing time than he did the last go-around. Kenji Jojima was going to play some first base and DH. Clement is that long-term catcher that they want to slot. But I think you have to see how it plays out and see if he can hit Major League pitching. Eventually he will. He's a great talent. But right now he's just a guy too risky to start.
Right, but you do want Ramon Hernandez starting, and the veteran has been a bust, but he's better than this, and he is showing signs of perking up here in June. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the National League, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show, and let's talk National League. And Albert Pujols may be returning from injury this week. At least he's eligible to do so come Thursday.
Yeah, he wanted to come back when he's first eligible, but they probably will be cautious with him. And even if he does come back, it's only 4 games. I don't think that's enough to trust him, especially because there can be a setback. So sit Albert Pujols one more week.
But don't sit James Loney. He is your start this week at first base. His developing young sluggers got hot in June. He looks like a solid start right now in any league. Taking a look at second base, Omar Quintanilla is your sit this week.
Yeah, Quintanilla has actually been hot, but Q is going to go to the bench because Troy Tulowitzki is coming back. Clint Barnes will come back. So those 2 middle infielders will slot him as a reserve for the Rockies. He should be on your reserves too in fantasy.
Okay, but Felipe Lopez should not be on your reserves in fantasy at second base. The underachiever is notoriously streaky, but right now he is on the right side of the streak, so go ahead and get him into your lineups. At third base, Ian Stewart is your sit this week.
Yeah, Stewart's another one of those Rockies. He was playing second base. Last week he was on the list because of a return of Tulowitzki, so this week he's probably going to go to third base. He's not going to play over Garrett Atkins. Long term, he's going to have a job somewhere with the Rockies he can really hit, but they need to find a position for him first. Hold off on him.
All right, Chase Headley is your start at third base. He can play both third and outfield. The top prospect gets a call-up and gets off to a Jay Bruce type of start. At shortstop, Omar Vizquel is your sit.
Yeah, Omar Vizquel is a 40-something-year-old shortstop. His last fantasy asset, his legs are going. 40-year-old shortstops you can't trust. I don't think you should use them in any league, even the deepest of NL-only leagues right now.
But you should use Tulo, who is returning from the deal or expected to do so. His swing has come around on his rehab assignment. Justin Upton is your sit in the outfield position.
Yeah, Upton is a 20-year-old who got off to a hot start. He has 8 homers, but they're thinking of sending him down to the minor leagues with the return of Eric Burns next week. That's real problematic. The free swinger is a guy you should wean yourself off of. Second half, he can still come back and be productive, but right now he's just in a bad way, and you should sit him in all leagues.
But you should start Fred Lewis, who has speed and power. The 27-year-old looks like a must-start in all leagues right now, and he is now starting against lefties, which can make him intriguing in mixed and head-to-head leagues. And at catcher, Paul Loduca is your sit this week.
Yeah, Loduca, the rebuilding Nats have gone to Jesus Flores. They want to give him the full-time catcher's job, so now they're going to play Loduca some in the outfield, some at first base. The veteran's been played out of favor now in Washington, and he should be out of favor in your lineups.
But Chris Iannetta, who is a repeat name on this list, should not be out of the favor in your lineups. He has taken over full-time in Colorado, so use him in mixed leagues right now. All right, Eric, well, thank you for all of your advice. Keep your mouse right here at CBSSports.com for everything you need to know in the world of sports. If you miss anything here today, stop, refresh, and rewatch. For Eric Mack, I'm Amber Wilson. Goodbye from your lineup.